Hey, everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan. And does the price action of XRP have anything to do with this announcement? I don't think it was the catalyst, but do I think it had an impact on momentum? Absolutely, yes, for sure. As you know, I have been covering this space for more than 2 years, and I am shy of just 400 videos on YouTube. And each one of those videos have hours of research behind them. So I have thousands of hours in following the company Ripple and the digital asset XRP. And I can tell you that on average, when they announce a partnership, you might have 20 to 30 different write-ups, but this particular partnership was different. There were over 100 in just the first few hours of the announcement. It was in French, Russian, Korean, Thai, Chinese, German, you name it. There was a ton of articles. Ripple has landed a huge partnership, and I think it's bigger for XRP than anything that's been done so far, because this is a public company, and I did a little digging for you. And let me tell you, there is a lot going on that is beyond the headlines that came across the global news wire at 4:15 Eastern Standard Time today. It is, let me give you some facts. Okay, this company, Intermex, they were founded in 1994. They're headquartered in Miami, Florida. Their offices are in Puebla, Mexico, and Guatemala City. They specialize in what's called the LAC region, or the LAC region. That's the Latin America Caribbean region. However, they have just launched their inbound to Africa, and they're outbound from Canada, which is really interesting. All right, so they went public through a reverse merger in July 2018 with a company called FinTech. Their shares trade now on the NASDAQ, and today they're trading at about $11.22. They had a 52-week high of $16.10 and a 52-week low of $10.11. Did I say that twice? 52-week high of $16.10, yeah, and 52-week low of $10.11. Okay, so what I want you to know is that the presentations that I'm going to show you are from summer 2019 and November 2019, but you can go back and find all of these presentations, including the earnings calls that are on live conference calls you can get on this page too. This is the Intermex page, and all the PDFs and the webcasts are on here. All right, so let's just go really high, just quickly, for people who might be new to this space. The reason why there is so much action going on in the global remittance market is because the new technology has been able to tap into this $613 billion market of remittances, and that figure is from 2017. It has since grown. Now, there are 247 million people who live outside their country of birth. $148 billion was sent from the U.S. alone. So you can see the size of that corridor, the corridors that are created from the United States, because they have so many people who are working in the U.S. but were not born in the U.S. All right, so we are going to focus for the most part, not solely, but for the most part, on the Mexican corridor, because we know Bitso is providing that liquidity. And this is a corridor that in the summer 2019, they have in their presentation that it was $31 billion. This is the amount that's sent out of the U.S. to Mexico. This is as of 2017. But if you read the Ripple announcement of this partnership, they actually cite that this corridor from the United States to Mexico is now 36 billion. So it's a monster corridor, and you're going to see that this company is a monster in terms of remittances. So let's take a look at the first slide that I think is in the presentation from summer 2019. You can see that the people that are behind this company, it's very, very interesting. Two of them, the CEO and the Chief Marketing Officer, are from Western Union. And then they have other members of the management team that come from Chase, Royal Bank of Scotland, Capital One, PricewaterhouseCoopers, Accenture, and Bancolombia, which is a bank in Colombia, but they are also in many jurisdictions throughout Latin America. Okay, so this LAC region that I'm talking about, the Latin America Caribbean corridors, is what they really specialize in. This is a $90 billion cumulative area of the world for remittances. So let's first understand how their customer transaction flow is and soon will change with ODL when they use the digital asset XRP. But I think this is very interesting. So they use the example of $375, and this is where you are sending that money to Mexico from the United States, whether it's in person through a wire transfer or if you do it online. So the company uses agents. That's really important because they have 6,000 agents, and they're all licensed in every United States state, okay, including DC and Puerto Rico. And then in the Latin America Caribbean region, they have 55,000 cash pickup locations. That's crazy in terms of the numbers. So the agent charges $10, and then Intermex will process that transaction. They currently have a payer network right now, and they tack on that $10 plus a $2.50 foreign exchange spread. But at the bottom, it's very interesting to know that Intermex earns $5.05. They net that amount on $12.50 gross revenue. So it just gives you an idea of the margins that the company is working on. Now, I want to show you exactly why XRP is important. I'm taking you to a 10Q. This was filed with the SEC on November 12th, 2019. And this is a disclosure of the market risk, and they have to manage the foreign currency risk. They settle with payers for their use of foreign currency with providers that give them a spot transaction. That would mean that this is a transaction that takes place at the market price at that moment. And the foreign currency exposure is by the fact that all transactions are settled within 2 business days. Okay? We're not talking weekends, we're talking business days. So that could actually mean up to 4 days if they hit it or where they have to wait over the weekend. So when you have to wait that long, you have currency fluctuations from the trade date. And this can easily negatively impact the transaction. So the risk is there, and the currency can swing, and it affects the margins. So they don't have that same exposure with XRP. The XRP settles in a matter of seconds. So the exposure is seconds compared to days. All right. So by the way, I just had a little chat too with one of the gals online who is helping me, Laura Vasquez. Thank you for helping me. I had asked if the digital asset XRP was actually in use yet. And she said, let me verify that, and that they are in the process of implementing it. And I just said, well, I hope that it saves everybody lots of money and I wish them luck. And she said, thank you. And I didn't have any other additional questions. So we are still, this is the great thing is the volume that we've seen increase on Bitso is not even yet being reflected with this company. And wait till you see the numbers of market share that they have captured. All right, so I'm now going to take you to, where am I here? Just to show you, these are the markets that they are dealing in. And the two big ones are Mexico and Guatemala. These corridors, well, all the corridors that they are in total 90 billion. 90 billion. 90B. All right? The reason why I say that, it will be very clear at the end of this video. And when you look at Mexico and Guatemala, that's 51% of this 90 billion. All right, so let's look exactly how much of a market share they have in Mexico and Guatemala. You can see on this slide here, which is from November 2019, that on the left, Mexico, they actually captured in that solid green color, it shows 27% of the volume growth, okay? But they actually were able to capture 18%. So their market share of the $35 billion corridor between the US and Mexico at the time of this slide, they captured 18%. So that's about $6 billion year to date that they had done. All right, and this is Q3. This was reported in Q3. Okay, and then on the right is Guatemala. They captured 37% of the volume growth, and they have a 25% market share of a corridor that's 9 billion. So that's 2.2 billion. So you can see that we've got 8.2 billion. It's basically secured with this one company in this part of the world, along with all the other countries that they deal in that are going to go live soon with ODL partners. I think Canada is going to happen very soon. And they're already launched in Canada. And we know that Africa is also going to be coming online very soon. So as of Q3, the year-over-year growth for a key metric with this company is they have a 17% revenue growth. They have a 20.6 growth remittance volume. So they have grown year over year 20% with their remittances. And they're making money. They're in the black. So this is a company that has great potential and will be an absolutely amazing partner for Ripple and on-demand liquidity. And I want to show you one more thing that's quite interesting. On December 31st, 2019, this is a Schedule 13G, and it was filed with the SEC. A 13G, a Schedule 13G, is filed when anyone acquires more than 5% ownership of the shares. And usually it's a passive investor without the intention to exert control over the company. And it has to be filed within 10 days after a purchase is made. And there were over 3 million shares that were purchased, which came out to a little over 8% of the ownership. And the company that did that is Wellington Management Group, LLP. You need to see this, because when you have people say that XRP or Ripple is a scam, oh gosh, it's just getting ridiculous that when you see something, who's behind the investments, that obviously they know about the partnership with Ripple. And the reason why I say that is because the form that was filed actually is going to come into effect on the 14th of February. So it was filed with the SEC on December 31st. Yeah, I'm just sure. I'm just sure. I'm just sure. So this company, Wellington Management, they have 1.1 trillion under management as of December 2019. They have 2,200 clients. They're in 60 countries. They serve institutional investors and have done so since 1928. And check this out. In their clients, where are you clients? Central banks and sovereign institutions. And the person who is signing on that 13G document, the Schedule 13G, this is Jim Frisano. I think it's probably Frisano. He is the Vice President and Compliance Officer at Wellington. He's been there for 2 years now, but I want to tell you that he served as fiduciary specialist for the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston. He did that for, I believe it was 5 years on his LinkedIn. And the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston is one of the 12 banks in the Federal Reserve System. And they serve the central banks of the United States. There is nobody who's going to make an investment in a company that's using ODL that thinks they are getting involved with a scam. Just crazy. So it tells you the type of people that are behind companies that are providing the services to these remittance corridors. So yeah, he was with that Federal Reserve Bank of Boston for 5 years, 3 months. Oh boy, it's just getting so interesting. And then we have to deal with an article like this, which is just unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. This is Mike Novogratz. And come on, Mike, math doesn't lie. XRP is going to be owning this $36 billion corridor with MoneyGram, Golance, and now Intermex. And this is just one corridor. This is just one corridor. So sorry to say, but you have officially made my Hall of Shame award with your statement that Ripple's XRP has been underperforming in 2020 and that it's likely to continue. Well, I want to just let you know that about an hour ago, Mr. Garlin House just couldn't help but comment on this comment that Mike Novogratz has made. And it confirms that your entry to that special group with this tweet from Mr. Garlin House confirms that. So CoinDesk even chimed in and wrote another lackluster year in 2020. Let me just give you the facts because we need a fact check, okay? This is Mr. Garlin House's tweet. Is this thing on? Can I get a fact check on aisle CoinDesk? XRP has outperformed Bitcoin, BTC, and the broader crypto market in 2020. XRP is up 44%, 19.1 cents to 27.5 cents at the time that he tweeted this, versus Bitcoin's 33%, which was at 7,100 to 9,500 so far this year. So the people who are just continually talking trash without any facts backed, and when you look at the real story behind. It's just, yeah, well, I'm happy that I stayed up tonight to do the research and share it with you. It's getting on almost 4 o'clock in the morning, so my fluff is going to be very, very short. Sumo, it is going to be something special for everybody during the Olympics. I'm really happy to see this article. They are going to put on a special exhibition for the Olympics, and they're going to introduce the sport to the global audience, and they wish to help everyone know and understand this sport a little bit more and get a close-up to the view of tradition and culture. I can't wait. And I hear that the Yokozunas, which are the grand champions of this sport, are even going to do meet and greets with the people from around the world. So anyway, that's really something to look forward to. All right, everybody, I do need to call it a night. Take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.